What's up, guys? Buckle up because you're about to enjoy an excellent Snaps game preview where we tell you everything you need to know about this weekend's game and probably some stuff that you didn't. Enjoy. So let's head to the Big Ten. Iowa, Ohio State, finally
Holy
a
shit,
reason to
Ohio
watch the
State?
Buckeyes, dude.
Oh my goodness.
I forgot they decided to play football this season.
Mm.
Still, even though this is somewhat more exciting, unfortunately, it's still not kind of that exciting. Iowa's still 20-point dogs here. This is more of a let's get an idea of how good Ohio State actually is, as opposed to any hope of an actual upset. I was pretty shocked to read this. The last time Iowa won in the horseshoe was 1991. So we are coming up on over 30. We are over 30 years since that's happened. This is not unlike how I've viewed a couple games this year. I think back to Texas, Michigan. I think back to Ole Miss, Kentucky, where it was, I'm only really watching one side of the ball because Iowa's offense is dog shit. So I don't care what Ohio State does against them defensively. But how does Will Howard and this weapon-filled offense look against obviously a very good defense in Iowa, one that is traditionally great? Like it is a say. In Texas, for what it's worth, they passed that test with flying colors against Michigan. Ole Miss failed it against Kentucky. How will Ohio State's offense look now that they actually have to play a defense with a pulse?
Well, Iowa this year is actually 14th in the Big Ten, giving up 210 yards passing per game. So not as because they only got the white boy back there at the cornerback position.
Sure.
So
I mean, they're not as dominant, but it's not. I mean, they played
it's still a good test.
Western Michigan, Marshall, and Michigan State. It's still a better defense than any that they've played thus far.
You talking about Ohio State?
Yes,
100%. This is all that matters. Like if Ohio State, who has to after this football game go play Oregon, I believe that's next week.
Yeah, awesome. Maybe
it's next week.
That's the only thing to watch for. Maybe.
Yeah, it's a little trap game. But like this is the moment of like, okay, Oregon has kind of gone through the shit. They started off slow. They've started to pick up steam. Now they look like they're ready to host Ohio State in the big matchup next week. Ohio State really hasn't proven to us just how elite they are. And it's not a skill position question to me at all. Like I know Judkins and Henderson are elite. I know Smith and Njigba are elite. Like the skill guys are there. This is a game where I want to see what I say.
Okay, I see what you did. You did a Jackson Smith and Jigba thing. You said Njigba, but I mean, admittedly,
Buka. My bad.
No, you're fine. I was just confused for a second.
This is a game where the questions are going to be answered a little bit of like.
Oh, did you just go muted? Am I muted?
Yep.
Okay.
No, I'm good. Is Walker Howard a championship caliber quarterback or not? If he plays good, really good, then all of a sudden I look at Ohio State as a true contender. If he plays average and looks average, then you're like, okay, maybe they're good enough to win the Big Ten, but do they have the guy to win a national championship? So this is his first big test. So all eyes on Will Howard to see how he does.
So we're in the exact same boat.
Yeah.
Like that's all we're just judging this offense based on. And to be fair, look, like you said, the weapons have been absurd. Quinshon Judkins averaging 8.3 yards per carry. Travion Henderson averaging 8.9 yards per carry. Jeremiah Smith already has 19 catches, 360, 5 tuds. He has very much lived up to the hype. Igbuka, to your point, basically has the same stats. Here is, again, to contextualize your line point, here's something to watch. Despite the fact that Ohio State hasn't really played anyone yet, I'm not that impressed with how their offensive line is graded out. They're currently 18th in the country in run blocking and 30th in pass blocking. And that's what playing teams that they should be markedly better than. Like Iowa's rush defense and pass rush will be better than anything they faced yet this year. That was our biggest concern coming into the season. It looked like the biggest concern coming out of spring. I thought maybe though it was just because they're going against Jack Sawyer and that very good Ohio State front seven. But like Ohio State's offensive line specifically, Aaron is exactly right. This will be their biggest test. How will they hold up? And then by extension, Will Howard and the offense as a whole. And then we'll have such a clearer picture of how we feel when they go to Autzen to take on Oregon, who Oregon's kind of, they survived a couple early trysts. Now they've kind of taken a step out of the spotlight. Seems like they're working on themselves. Here's what I'll say about Iowa, though, because we do need to talk about the other team as well. Iowa's rushing attack, really good. Second in the Big Ten, averaging 250.
Caleb Johnson's been killing it this year.
8.4
8.4 yards per carry.
Yeah, but Cade McNamara and the passing offense is god-awful still.
Yes.
Cade McNamara is averaging 5.8 yards per attempt, 3 tuds, 2 picks. Aaron, remember, though, all 3 of those touchdowns, when did they come? In the first game. If you look at against FBS opponents, it's 4.7 yards per attempt, no touchdowns, 2 picks. God awful. So Iowa gets smashed here. I think Ohio State covers. I think Ohio State's offense actually looks good against an Iowa defense that maybe isn't as dominant as years past. And I think the hype train rolls and continues to grow going into Autzen next week.
Yeah, and I know we don't want to talk about the other side of the football, but I do want to make a comment real quick. Like, Ohio State's defense is elite. And I think that's that. I mean, if you want to talk about covering the football game and if you want to put money on this and the reasons why, it's less to do with Ohio State's offense versus Iowa's defense and more to me for the fact that Ohio State's defense is going to absolutely suffocate Iowa to the point where you may only cross the 50-yard line once or twice.
Yeah.
So it's going to be short field after short field after short field. And at some point, the dam is going to bust and Ohio State's just going to run away with it and it's just going to get ugly. So Ohio State's going to win this year because of elite defense, an incredible run game, and then now the question mark of, is Howard going to be a compliment or is he going to hold them back, should somewhat be answered this weekend. But Ohio State's defense, especially at home, should suffocate the Hawkeyes.
Oh, well, I'd say that was informative and fun. If you agree, please hit the like button, sub, and we'll see you next time for some more snaps.